What?
Let's find you a better home out of construction sites here, bud.
Okay, I got him. Time for some measurements.
All sorts of fun little surprises in the Sonoran Desert.
Okay, it's 4 a.m. and I am getting ready to go probably the dumbest thing that I do. It's really fun though. I'm gonna be working on our study in Phoenix of rattlesnake populations that live in urban centers. It's gonna be 118 degrees today, so that's why I'm up so early. I got a lot of hiking to do, a lot of water to drink, check the spots I need to check, and then get the hell out of there before I die.
Looks like I got a snake call to run. It's 4:30. Time to get up. That's why we run services 24/7. We've always got someone on the hotline, so. Hi folks, how's it going?
Clear shot on this side, the plate's in there.
Oh, cool. I hear you.
About 2.5, 3 footer.
Oh yeah, it's like a decent sized diamond back there.
Yeah, birdie though, got some good color.
Oh yeah.
I think I got about 7 rattles on them is what I was looking at. So.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah. What?
Let's find you a better home out of construction sites here, bud. This ain't a great place to hang out for long. Come here. I'll go that way. There we are. Looks like it's got a good sized injury on its back there. It's healed over quite a bit, but there's a good scar there on her backside. Find him a much better home. I'll take him back out into the open desert. I'll find a nice home away from homes. Find like a pack rat nest, a mammal mound, somewhere where they can reintegrate into their home range fully. Just get away from people, obviously, so. It took a little bit of time, but I found a nice little pack rat mid den here that should be perfect for our diamondback. It's a good way out from any sort of development or roads or anything. Nope. Behind you. Wrong way. There you go. Work. As for me, sun's just coming up. I got a 40-minute drive back, and I would like to get back and get some breakfast in, and then maybe take a little nap. Sounds like a good plan.
It's already almost 90 degrees with the sun just barely peeking up. I don't have a backpack today. I'm not taking photos. I'm just here to check on a few locations to see if some of the snakes that we have tagged in previous years have returned to those exact same spots and how often they do so. So I'm going to be more or less, just moving quickly from location to location so I can be out of here by 7:30, 8 o'clock or so. Okay, you can't see it, but there is one rattlesnake far back there in the cave, sleeping away, nobody outside. It's great to see one, but I'm not going to be able to get any other data on it other than that it exists, it's here. Not going to be able to read a pit tag or anything like that, so it will go down as an observation, but an unknown one. I got another one way back in this cave, and I'm not crawling in there. So it'll go down as an unknown. I'm sorry for the up the nose shot all the time here. I have to be careful to obscure my location. These are sensitive sites that snakes return to year after year, so if the wrong people knew where they're at, or a lot of times even people that think that they're the right people, it can really damage what's happening here, where you have these really sensitive areas. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I'm gonna run off to the next spot. There's a rattlesnake right there. So I'm gonna grab it, and see if it's someone I know. Okay, I got him. Time for some measurement.
You know, I thought after my 4 a.m. call this morning that I deserved a nice little treat, so I cooked up some pancakes here and dove in, but only managed to get a few bites in before my phone rang. And now I'm headed back out to an outlet mall, either in the warehouse section or in the facility itself. It's a little bit of a messy call from my understanding right now, but I'm making my way up there. Let's do it. All right, let's go save the day.
Saw it. It went underneath there.
Underneath here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not very big.
Gotcha.
But it's to the point where it saw me and said, "Oh."
I understand that.
You know, because it
got spooked.
Because it surprised us because we have no idea where it came from.
Gotcha.
We're walking this way, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, who dropped the toy snake?
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Not something you'd expect in an environment like this.
I said, okay, because my first thought, I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab the broom and the dustpan, and then as soon as I went to go walk near it, it raised its head up, and it shoot.
Decided it had enough. Okay.
And that's pretty much where it went.
So it went right under here then.
Yeah. I can pull these boxes out because the shelving comes up.
Okay.
You know.
That might be helpful.
Okay.
Let me see what I can see here.
Yeah.
I might grab my flashlight too
Yeah,
to see
no
if I can
problem.
shine under there, but doesn't look like I have to go very far.
So you see where it is.
I do. He's got himself in a little crack here.
I was just coming back and thought I would swing by one of the spots just to see if one of the snakes had moved, and 3 other speckled rattlesnakes were there, crawling in about 10 feet away. So I was able to catch 2. I have one in hand, I have one under my hat, and one of them got away. So I'm going to process these out, and then I'm going to get something cool to drink and go home. So it's been a pretty good day today. Once you're collecting these data, you get to go and look at it later. So seeing any individual snake, that's cool. Seeing several hundred observations over time on a map, and you can overlay different conditions in geology and all kinds of other stuff, then you start learning something. So anytime that we can improve those methods, we're accelerating what we're learning, and that's the purpose of what we're doing. We're not just running around looking for snakes out here, we're trying to learn about how they live here. So this seems like a good place to talk about the reason why you're watching this in the middle of winter instead of right after I do it. It's because these are very sensitive sites, and we know this because we monitor these sites. Over the last several years, we have watched these very careful sites, these places that they pick very carefully to avoid the heat and survive the summer. We've watched them decline, and it's for a surprising reason. It's not because of development, it's not people killing them, it's not homeless encampments, it's people that like snakes. That's the one factor that has changed in these areas. What happens is somebody finds one of these spots where you can definitely find a speckled rattlesnake, and there's a lot of competition on Instagram. A lot of that gets overlooked to go get those photos so you can show off, essentially, have a kind of a contest. Those sites get visited by somebody. There are 4 or 5 friends, maybe up to 10 friends. I've heard up to 14 friends. And then they leave, but then their friends come back and visit it. So very quickly you end up in these situations where these snakes that are already stressed are being visited every day or every other day and scared back into their holes. So they're there that year, but then the next year they leave, and a lot of them don't come back. And what we have found is that sometimes they pick subpar areas, and sometimes they just die. There are snakes that we have found that are dead because somebody pulled them out to photograph them and then released them under the wrong rock, or found them crawling, trying to get back to that hole right as it's starting to get hot. They get photographed and then they crawl under a rock, and then that's where they end up dying because they're already kind of on the edge of death. And we know that because we have tracked those individual snakes to individual people and their photographs on Instagram taken and shared that morning or the morning before. So this isn't something that is just kind of like old herpers complaining about things. This is something that we see in the results of our now 7-year research project in this park with all the herpers here. It's not that herping is bad, it's that herping in one spot every single day and bringing all your friends there is bad. And I can already hear people shitting on this. It's not that it's not known that snakes can be found in these areas in Phoenix. There's this jumping fish effect, is that if somebody goes out there and says, hey, I had a really good morning, I saw 10 rattlesnakes, and says that online, the next morning, everybody that knows about those spots comes to those same exact locations, and it amplifies that problem. We have watched sites become extirpated entirely that were thriving rookeries because of that one thing. And I know there are lots of herpers that may be doing this for a few years that think this is just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous gatekeeping kind of thing to say. But you have to ask yourself, if you're going to allow yourself any kind of introspection, and you've already listened to me this far, ask yourself why anybody that's been doing this for 10, 20 or more years all feel this way and all can say this, and why, if you've been doing this for a few years, you're so adamant that you have found the way to avoid this. To ignore that is something you have to really examine. Who are you that you can ignore things like that and think that you are going to be different than these other things? And what you end up seeing a lot of times is that people that are very adamantly opposed to that kind of idea end up in time seeing it themselves. So if you're a herper, I guess that's the question. Is this the kind of thing that you are incapable of learning, or it's something that you're unwilling to learn? And are you going to allow yourself to, even if we're wrong, even if all the really experienced people are wrong about this, are you going to allow animals to maybe die just for that chance that you are the one person that's cracked this and never harm these things? That's what the data says. And you might also be thinking right now, well, aren't you doing that? Aren't you being a hypocrite and coming in here and doing that and do as I say and not as I do kind of thing? No, because I will come to this spot exactly 2 times in 1 year. We know that we're stressing them when we do this. It's metered in a way that it limits that as much as we can. And we know that we're not impacting them because we can check places like this that are known spots that are frequented daily by herpers to places that aren't. And we're still monitoring snakes there. And we're able to tell that we don't have an impact. Where if I were to come here every single day and hook them out of this hole to take photographs of them, yeah, it has a really big impact. So it's something that's considered. It's part of the work that we're doing. So it's not something that is ignored. People come here, they see no snakes and go, oh, it's just a bad day. But if you come here systematically and actually record what happens and pit tag things and track things like we're doing, you can see what's really happening. And man, as people that love snakes, we got to do better than this, because it's just art. I'm going to hate writing that up. I'm going to hate when we finish this and we write up our assessment and we submit this for publication to put in that section about how destructive people that claim to love these animals most actually are.
It is a harmless juvenile Coachwhip. Okay. So these are very small, fast snakes that feed on just about anything they can fit in their mouth. Right. All sorts of fun little surprises in the Sonoran Desert here.
Welcome to Monday morning.
Yeah. Oh, just your typical day in a shoe store, right? He did slip a little further back, so I think I'm gonna take some of the boxes out here. We can get this shelf up. I think I should be able to get hands on him. He's under one of these. He definitely shot further in when I,
Yeah.
Oh, I see a tail. There we are. Little buddy thought he could escape. Made a run for it.
Got it.
I did. That was a fun little workout.
He was like, I'm on my way out.
He tried. Couldn't quite escape. I saw that tail going around the corner, and he probably just came in here for some shade and...
Probably, because you can see the cracks in the door. Like,
okay. So yeah, and something like that would be a perfect little... Yeah, for that snake to get through. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't take much for a little skinny guy like this.
That to get through.
Mm-hmm. I'll find a much better place to hang out. Luckily, a snake this size and of this caliber is relatively easy to relocate, in a sense. Just about any creosote hole or pack rat nest or anything should fit this guy pretty easily. Perfect little pack rat nest. This snake can go zoom off into. Go on. He sees it. And he's gone. Well, that was quite a fun call. It's not every day you end up in an outlet mall and a shoe store digging through boxes for a snake. I'll take it. Now I think I want to relax and kind of wind down. Just kidding. I know that never happens here.